Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Ultimate Fusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Thursday night, and I just realized we are missing something.
What?
Charlie.
Yes.
What are you
I'm here.
missing?
What am I missing?
What has been a Thursday night tradition since the beginning of time?
I don't remember.
How your brain says, Dad, that much? Wait for it. Nope, this is not the tradition I speak of. Charlie,
What?
what's happened to you?
I'm a changed man.
I can't do this. Like, the show cannot start. Like, no. This is unacceptable.
Whatever.
My brain can't handle this.
Ladies and gentlemen, what Zealeus is alluding to is the fact that usually at this point in the show, I do the do. I pour a Mountain Dew and a Code Red into one glass, and then I sip on it oh so ever softly and sweetly,
It is glorious sipping.
nurturing it throughout the entire.
Like, I feel through osmosis.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but apparently I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. As of, let's see here, 17 days ago. 17 days ago was my last caffeinated beverage.
What? How do you feel? Any different? Do you feel like a new man?
I'm feeling okay now, but I had a caffeine headache for 10 days. Caffeine withdrawal.
I can't imagine why that would have
Oh,
happened.
But anyways, I am.
High five, bro.
I have a shit ton of Mountain Dew all over the place, and I've got a bunch of energy drinks at the office, but I have not touched a drop in 17
What
days.
was the impetus to the giving up of the caffeine in their life?
The physiotherapist as well as the chiropractor were commenting on the fact that I seem to be drinking a lot, but staying in a dehydrated state. And so when I told them the mass amount of caffeine and energy drinks I drank, they're like, yeah, you should probably stop that. And since I've done that, I've felt a little less pain in the joints.
Interesting.
So,
See how it goes.
and also caffeine apparently, like, you drink too much and it'll start fucking up with all your lymph nodes.
That's not very nice, is it?
No, it's not. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move into the first story.
We are going to talk about
Bum, bum, bum.
the Direwolf Smite team from the Oceania.
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, Smite, League of Legends, Dota 2, basically all the esports, they have a North American division, a European division, an Oceania division, and an Asian division. So, one of the best teams in all of Oceania, Australia, to be honest with you,
Yeah, that's pretty much the Oceania.
is a team called LG Direwolves. And the reason why they are stepping away is because Gesundheit. Hi-Rez has apparently been dropping the ball when it comes to payouts, as well as being very forward with what the payouts are going to be. And on top of that, they're waiting to the last minute to help get those teams to places or give them tournament information. So basically, like, I understand. Okay, at first, when I first read this story, I thought that they were bitching and moaning about the fact that they're not making as much money as North American teams do in competitive play. And my first thought is, well, maybe the reason why North America is getting more is because there's more teams going up against each other. So you're facing a deeper pool.
Sure.
Now, when you looked at, oh Lord, really? Okay, Great Countertop said, oh, Nexus dropped a new game and it's already dead. Nexus is one of those like MMO companies that literally just throws shit out.
I played one of their games. I can't remember what it's called now. But I
feel like I've played a couple of them. But anyways, so basically what's happening is that the Smite World Championship, which is supposed to be, this past year, was supposed to be $1 million payout.
It was clearly stated on the website
It
in
said,
multiple locations.
$1 million pot. But it actually ended up being
About 600.
$675.
Yeah.
And then like the payouts were just ridiculous in like their range. So basically the issue that the LG Direwolves had was, let's say that they finished, I think it was like 4th or 5th, the entire team would get one check for $22,000, which basically covers airfare. The other thing is that they wanted to do kind of like a boot camp here in Atlanta to
3
kind
weeks.
of, to really to test out the internet connection here, because that's the other thing, is that when doing their special summer, spring, summer, and autumn splits, they're supposed to be, you're trying to build up a. First of all, this is NRG. This is the European or actually it's the overall champs from last season. But anyways, you're trying to build up your fan base by doing streams, right?
Sure.
Well, apparently the server that was basically the stream box didn't work. So LG Direwolves, who is, like I said, is probably one of the best teams, if not the best team in the Oceania region, they had, I think it was like, they had 17 matches. No, it was basically like, it's like 7, I don't know, let me see if I can find it real quick. I wonder if I have it. I might have not clipped that. But basically, okay, so here's,
So while Tyler was looking it up, one of the other problems so yes, there was the whole financial issue that LG Direwolves ran into. But the other issue that they have also had is not just with the payout from the High-Res Expo, but with the not exactly very follow-through-ish communication that came from High-Res. For instance, going back to the boot camp.
Actually, here are their two. Apparently, this is their two favorite phrases that the leader of the Direwolves got to read over and over and over again. I completely understand your frustration and only hope that our plans for next year will keep you guys motivated.
There's always next year.
And then the second one is, we've come up with a solution to fix X in the future, but for now, this will have to do.
So like when they were flying to Atlanta for the boot camp, they're like, yo, High-Res bros, we need to know like what the plans are. And so they sent
because they needed to have travel
and
travel documents to
and the
come
guy
into
from
the U.S.
Direwolves, he has like all the screenshots of the email exchanges. And the guy from, I forget the High-Res's guy, but he's like, yeah, I'll get it to you. And then consistently.
You can see like 2 days later, 4 days later.
And consistently,
10
High
days later.
Direwolves was having to be like, yo, what's the update? And one of it is they have a 16-year-old who's on the team whose mom was going to fly with them. She's like, I need to buy a ticket. And so finally on December 11th, they sent here's your tickets. The tickets were also bought on December 8th. And then from the splits, when they're supposed to be paid out, is basically they got paid 3 months after the guy from High-Res said they're going to be paid.
Because they had to sign a bunch of different tax documentation.
That was after this.
No. But this was also another. This was after one of the events. They wanted to have their payout and like, oh well, you need to sign this document.
But even after that, when they guy from High-Res was like, finance is cutting the check today, actually, because they asked them if they could pay other than check. And the guy from High-Res was like, no, we're only paying via check. Like we've already cut the check.
The request is already put in, yeah.
And then 3 months later, they still hadn't got the money.
Yep.
And it was just like, it wasn't, yes, there was the $1 million thing for the High-Res Expo, but it was like for Direwolves, it was like this, and then this happened, and then this happened, and this happened. It wasn't just like the $1 million thing. It was like a constant thing throughout the entire year of them just feeling frustrated where there wasn't the response. A, High-Res was not responding to their inquiries, or B, whatever they told them was not true. And so it was just this constant, like Charlie said, High-Res would just be like, well, we'll do better next time, basically, but we can't do anything now. And so, reading these responses and some of the things were like, man, if I did this, I'd be fired from my damn job. Because it was the lack of follow-through is the issue. Where they're like, we'll get back to you in a day. And then 4 days later, Direwolves would be like, hello?
Okay,
6 days
how's
later,
it going?
hello. And that's where I think the frustrating part was. And from reading, other people's comments is, I think in the Smite community, people like the game. But High-Res as a management company, there's kind of a lot of that level of frustration as far as on a management level, like, what is going on here? I don't understand.
Well, I think, okay, so first of all, I love High Res. I have a bunch of friends that work there. I enjoy the vast majority of their products. But personally and honestly, I think that trying to balance 3 esports entries into the professional level is too much for High Res. And so they're not able to focus on every single aspect of every single thing. Like you have Smite, you have Paladins, and now you've got Hand of God, Smite Tactics.
Yay!
Which is the card game. So I mean, basically every single fucking company has your MOBA. What would you call your Team Fortress 2, your Overwatch, your Paladins?
A first-person shooter.
First-person shooter, and then a collectible card game.
CCG, yeah.
So the thing is, I think honestly, High Res has spread themselves way too fucking thin. They actually had another game called Smite Rivals, and they had to table it, probably because people were getting pissed off because you're not showing enough love and attention to, I understand that Smite and Paladins is technically what do you call it? It's a product that exists. Mm-hmm. I know, Global Agenda and Tribes. They threw that shit. Well, actually, they did an update for Tribes 2 years ago, no, 1 year ago. But Global Agenda has basically been kicked to the wayside. Mm-hmm. The thing is, no offense to High Res or anyone that works there, but I feel like there are times where High Res is just trying to throw as much shit at the wall and hopefully all that will stick. The problem is, I feel like because they spread themselves so thin that they're neglecting to be, when you have individuals who are playing your game in a competitive thing for tournament money, you need to give them the utmost attention. I don't care who the hell they are or where they're from. You have to support the individuals who are going to be showcasing how awesome your game is.
Well,
and that's the professionals.
That's why they're throwing all these games at the wall, is because of the esports scene. And if you're pissing off your esports players, and yes, this was Oceanic, and not just Smite, a lot of the esports, Oceanic's kind of the redhead stepchild. But
however, Direwolves is probably
they're a great team.
One of the better teams outside of North America.
Yeah, they are. They're a solid team all around.
Yeah.
But now you have other teams from Europe and North America, and how do you think these professional esports teams are thinking about Smite now in lieu of what's happened with the Direwolves team?
Right.
And, they're looking at this and be like, maybe we should be looking at another game, because what happens when we get the shaft potentially, because they're not responding to us. And like Charlie said, it seems like they're spreading themselves too thin, and it's like with Smite. That's their bread and butter. That is their moneymaker.
It should be.
It should be, and that's the worry is, if they start neglecting Smite for these other games and they're not profitable, that could spell big time trouble for High Res if they let Smite kind of go downhill. Because if Smite loses that edge and people stop buying all the skins and all the other stuff,
the gym packs,
High Res is going to be in trouble, because that's their breadwinner right now.
And the thing is, if you go to the High Res Expo, which I refuse, I don't like that name. It's Smite World Championship, motherfuckers, and they just happen to have a bunch of other high res stuff there. Mm-hmm. If you go there, you can absolutely 100% see they stretch the shit too thin, because you've got the Smite thing going on, you got the Paladins thing going on, and then you got some random ass other shit going on. When it was just Smite World Championship, and you could, and you had that side ballroom for like, shirts, hats.
Yeah. That's the one I went to.
Play your own Smite match against a bunch of other random people. That was awesome. Mm-hmm. Sure, you could show like some highlights for something else or whatever, but don't try to be throwing, another tournament going on simultaneously. It absolutely screams, we have no idea what the fuck we're doing. Well, I'm sorry, but that's what it is.
Well, that's kind of common. It seems like a lot of people who have been hired over the years from Smite, they don't necessarily have a lot of business background. Mm-hmm. They're all like developers or people who are in the esports community, like as streamers or something. Mm-hmm. But as far as actually bringing in the management people, who that's what they do. Like that's the only thing they know. That's kind of what seems to be lacking a little bit.
Right, but the funny thing is, a lot of people would say, I don't understand why you're saying that High Res is not paying attention to Smite. They release new content every 2 weeks. Yes. However, I feel like that shit is rushed. Like they're trying to prove a point. Like, look how much attention we're playing. Here's another patch. Here's another patch. Here's another character. Here's some skins. Here's some skins for a bunch of guys that Charlie would never play. Okay, good.
Versus then you take like the opposite approach of like an Overwatch, where it's like they release a patch once a month. No more, no less. Like, you're not getting any more out of that damn game.
Well, if you look at the other thing about Smite is that they're also pushing this eternal thing called Adventures. It's a limited time deal inside the game that allows you to do something slightly different than your normal arena, assault, conquest, siege, whatever other game modes are. And adventure could be basically anything. They did a capture the flag one. They did a racing kart one.
Trying to change the game up a little.
But the thing is, none of that shit is polished. They're like, hey, this would be cool. Let's do it. Adventure. See, we're giving you content.
Again, it's like a dartboard. Let's try something and see what sticks.
I want Smite to succeed. They've got a great game. They have a hell of a roster of gods where you're not going to see the same damn character banned every single match. Because they've got there's so many.
Well, with so many gods, one of the other comments I hear a lot is, yes, they do the updates twice or once every 2 weeks, but the issue is balance. And there's you'll get the OP gods, and they'll go like months without being touched. And
while the ones that aren't so OP are getting touched to fucking Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
You're like, why are you touching him? He's middle of the road. Mess with that fucking guy.
And so sometimes you wonder about like the QA balancing. It's like, what are they doing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I'm very sad to hear that that high res basically fumbling the ball over and over and over and over and over again has caused one of the better teams outside the U.S. / Europe to say deuces.
And to me, it's one thing if it's. Because you can't make money playing the game,
oh, that's the other thing,
or you're not good enough. Like that, I get. But if it's because of management issues within the game itself, that's where I worry about its longevity.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you look at the freaking prize pot breakdowns, if some of these teams knew how little they would make, they wouldn't come to the U.S. for Smite World.
Well, and that's one of the other big issues that Direwolves had,
right,
that I mentioned, is, so when they originally were looking at this, they were saying $1 million. So they got some sponsors to come for the boot camp, and then once they got, the payment packet from High Res,
it's a
when
much
it
lower
still said
number.
$1 million on the website,
it's a much lower number.
That's when they saw this, and that's when this whole kind of email chain started. It's sort of like, why does it say X amount and yet your website says $1 million?
And then they would try to make up some excuse about how marketing and financials don't talk to each other.
Well, here's the other thing too, and anybody who's ever worked in customer service has learned, I really don't give a shit why. Like, it doesn't matter why it happened, it still happened. That's the problem.
Snap, that's right, internal burn.
It's a burn to your soul of your company.
Look, when once again, you have individuals who are very talented, who are going to be showcasing off your game to show you to show the world how awesome it is. You cannot fuck them over repeatedly by delaying payment
over and over,
lying about what the payout's going to be, and then waiting till the last goddamn minute about negotiating travel preparations. Because if you're not in the U.S., you need papers.
And that's the problem for a lot of these. It's like I said, it's not one screw up. It's time and time again.
You want to look at
problem.
every single time that China has brought in one or two teams.
Yep.
Their no team has come complete from China because they're not given enough time to get all their paperwork together.
And yet you think they make it over here for, like, let's just say a DOTA tournament?
Yeah.
Or a, well, I don't know if they have actual Blizzard China teams over here yet.
Shanghai. No, is that China? Or is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
Okay, I don't know.
Anyways, so it's very sad, but let's see, what the future holds. Hopefully High Res will get their shit together and they won't start losing teams left and right.
Indeed.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, since I've done like the crazy random stuff here, we're going to talk about Patreon.
Patreon!
Okay, so now it's still on the Patreon page. It still says I'm trying to create an independent video game and news and review website. So technically, that aspect is kind of gone. However, please What we're going to, like I said, like I've been trying to stress, that part of Ultra Confusion is going to go away. Our desire, our want to help and to communicate with everybody on Thursdays, at conventions, for panels, at the fan table, which I'm not exactly sure what we'll do at the fan table. We'll probably just show off games and talk about them. I don't care. But all that, we need your help to help us get there, and also, you know, keep our equipment up to date and stuff, so we can continue to do these Thursday night hangouts and all the other fun stuff. And then, of course, as I stated before, I am not against continuing to interview independent creators. I can't deal with deadlines of you need to post about this news tomorrow, but not before 9, and you've got to write 17 different reviews and stuff. Oh, for God's sakes. Okay. Anyways, so ladies and gentlemen, if you have the ability to make, so Patreon is a monthly donation. And that money, of course, goes to Ultra Confusion to allow us upkeep of equipment and allow us, of course, to go to conventions and whatnot. If you do not feel comfortable with doing a monthly donation, you can also do a one-time payment to PayPal. If you do not feel comfortable with a monetary thing, there's a ton of other stuff you can help us with, such as if you want to help us do like maybe a theme song, or maybe you're a better artist than I am and you can maybe, upgrade the UI, or maybe you're a web designer and maybe could spruce up our website, or you see something that we do that you can enhance or maybe help point us in the right direction. Just hit us up through any of these social media means, which is going on the bottom of the screen. There's a Facebook, there's a Twitter, there's a YouTube, and there's a Twitch. Real quick, it would be Twitter is @UltraConfusio. It's Ultra Confusion without the N.
Because the N would blow up the world.
YouTube is Ultra Confusion LLC. Twitch.tv, of course, if you're watching this live, it's twitch.tv/Ultra Confusion. If you're watching us on YouTube, know that you can watch this every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
9 o'clock Central Time.
And then, of course, you can go to
7 o'clock Central.
You can also go to our website, www.ultraconfusion.com. And finally, like us on Facebook and just simply look for Ultra Confusion.
We are on everywhere.
Indeed.
And he's on Instagram.
Yeah. I'd be totally down for anybody who could, yes. If I could find someone who would do a rock version of video game music.
I bet Chris Rock could.
No.
No? You don't think so?
No.
Oh, okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next one, and let's do this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's an amazing convention that unfortunately went on hiatus the last year, or has it been two? Just one? Just one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's a convention called AndoCon, and it happens in Atlanta, Georgia, and it is coming back. Now, if you are a RPG, card game, or board game lover, this convention is one you got to check out. It's AndoCon.org. You can find out all the information there, but let me give you a little bit of background. AndoCon is happening next year, March 9th through the 11th. So that's 2018, March 9th through 11th at Atlanta at the Peachtree Corners Marriott. Zealeus and I have been to every... Were you at the first one? No.
I didn't go to the boathouse.
Jesse and I went to the inaugural one, and then Zealeus and I have been to every other one. It's a lot of fun. We've done panels, and Ando has asked us to do a panel or two. But Ando also wants to see if we'll record some of the stuff, and I said absolutely. We're definitely going.
Go play games.
Because there's board games you've never heard of. There's actual board game creators that have beta versions of games that you're going to play. And
that's my favorite part.
Oh my God, this game is awesome.
And not only that, but you'll sit down with these, beta game players of the board games and be like, so, what do you think of my game? And so you're giving these players, these people are creating their games, and you're giving them feedback, so you have the potential to have your voice from the ground up of these brand new, fun, cool board games. And that's like one of my favorite parts, is playing these new games that people never even played before.
And let both of us go on the record and tell you that because of AndoCon, we found out we met a gentleman by the name of Craig Campbell, who introduced us to Mergers and Acquisitions, a phenomenal game. And then on top of that, then we got to learn about capers. And now, of course, we've got, he's now, toiling around with the Die Laughing game. So, I mean, it's a great thing. It's not going to be expensive. It's a great time to get a bunch of friends together, play a shit ton of board games, or
if you're like me and you don't have friends, you can just go there and just play with random people.
You can make friends.
Yes. So
But anyways,
it is a fun game.
AndoCon, a lot of fucking fun.
The other thing that's very important to keep in mind is if you don't own any board games like me, you go
They
there.
have a huge-ass library.
They have a bunch of walls of board games that you can check out. It's all part of your weekend fee that you pay to go to it. There is a fee, but it's not much. It's like $20 or something.
I think it's like 25.
25. Oh no, that can't go now.
Seriously. It's
awesome.
It's the 9th through the 11th. So
yeah, definitely highly recommend AndoCon.
Agreed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the next one. And this one is going to be a bit lengthy.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Fortnite. Fortnite. Fortnite imagines an America overrun by husks. Your job is to, basically zombies.
What?
Your job is to head into the dangerous world and complete missions that, for the plot's sake, wipe out giant purple poison rain clouds in the sky.
So it's Plants vs. Zombies.
What's more, every major element of the game, heroes, weapons, traps, can be leveled up, and doing this unlocks a variety of perks and abilities.
Yay!
You might think using these items would increase your level by way of XP.
Makes sense to me.
Nope.
No!
Instead, you have to collect XP cards, which can then be spent on your inventory however you see fit.
Sounds like a lot of stuff to collect.
You can gather these XP cards by completing objectives, but you'll find more inside these fun little piñatas.
Oh. Like loot chest, basically.
Yes.
Ah.
So here's the thing. It sounds awesome, and
Sounds
it
great.
looks awesome, but...
Is there a but?
All right, so first off, it's in early access,
Yes.
so you pay, but it's going to be...
Oh, you don't just pay. You pay in tiers. So
Right.
the starting tier, is $40. And it goes way on up there. I'm talking like you have like a $180 freaking tier for this game. And as Charlie mentioned, early access is pay to play, and so Charlie mentioned there's all these great XP,
heroes,
weapons, things. Is guess what? They're all microtransactionable. And as Charlie and I have mentioned on the show many times, we're not opposed to microtransactions themselves.
Unless you try to drown us in microtransactions.
Which is the problem with Fortnite. And so basically everything in the game revolves around these materials, and you're trying to get these materials to build stuff. Yes, to build stuff, to research things. And basically the best way to get them is through these loot piñatas.
Which I think you can get, how much
It's
can you get
basically
for
$1 a loot piñata.
Yeah, there you go.
Is the breakdown.
A single loot piñata costs about $1 in real world money.
Yep. And so what happens is you get weapons and you get traps and you think this is great. No, you don't. You can't actually forge a weapon.
You get what?
It's a chance for
you get blueprints of traps. You don't get the trap. You get the blueprint.
I'm saying say you want a specific weapon.
You throw a bunch of shit into a pot, and then hopefully magically that weapon you want comes out, or that hero comes out.
It's all chance.
Yeah.
Like you can't be like, I'm forging the blue sniper of death. No, you can forge a sniper weapon. And you hope that's the blue sniper weapon of death. It's probably not going to be, so you have to, guess what? Buy more loot piñatas. And the other thing...
But here's the
kicker. The kicker is, your weapons, they degrade. They are not like a lot of these games where, they get it, and guess what? You get to keep your orange fat loot. And the traps, which are pretty awesome from what I've seen, they're one-use items.
So let's say that you get so basically when you open one of these loot piñatas, especially when it comes to traps, you actually get the blueprint. You don't actually get the trap. So you get the blueprint. So now you've unlocked the ability to make the trap. However, now you got to get all the resources. Now, of course, the easiest way would just to buy a bunch of fucking piñatas to basically hopefully gain enough loot to make this uber duper super duper trap, which is going to be awesome for that match that lasts. Let's see here. Did I get the? I don't remember if I had a time, but it was basically like, I don't know, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and then
12
it's
to 15
gone.
minutes, yeah.
And then it's gone.
And
Forever.
of course, the problem is, these husks can be attacking from like anywhere on the map. So you lay a trap down in point A. What do you think the odds are that these magical husks are going to attack from over here, or over here, or behind you? Probably pretty high. So, and of course, the other problem is the whole social dynamic. So when you get to these maps, there's chest and ore, other stuff you can collect, and
it's not a community pool.
yeah, one problem that most MMOs have solved with the whole communal aspect is most MMOs now basically everybody gets their own loot, everybody's happy, life goes on. It's not like the old, WoW days where it's like, fuck you, man, I wanted that purple loot. No, everybody gets their own loot, whatever. Nope, Fortnite is going old school where everybody, like, it's not shared. Whoever gets that ore first, yeah, they get that ore. Which, what's supposed to be a cooperative game of 4 of you, and pretty short matches of 12 to 15 matches, kind of as a head scratcher. And not only that, but it also means things like traps. Who wants to really drop that, rare, expensive trap first?
Or even any traps.
Yeah, I'm going to wait
who wants to use their
wait
gun?
for him to do it.
Or who wants to use their gun? Like,
That's very true.
I don't know. I mean, I might not do so good, or I might have to use my gun until it falls apart in my hand, but I don't have enough resources for a new gun.
And the sad part is from everything I've read about this game, like, the gameplay is solid, the artwork is beautiful, like, it's a solid, what they have there as far as a game goes is actually really solid. But unfortunately, we talk about microtransaction hell in games, and same goes with microtransactions, whatever. Most of the time, in bigger games, it's skins. We look at Smite, for instance. We talk about Smite a lot, or hell, most of them, pretty much any of the esports, really, to be fair. You're paying for either, one, you're paying for the gods or heroes. I'm fine with that because you keep them permanently. Or two, you're paying for skins, which have absolutely no effect on game playability whatsoever. Life
Just
goes
makes
on.
you look pretty.
Yeah, who cares about how much that costs? When you're talking about a game like this, where basically the whales, so the whales are basically the, gaming term for people who have a lot of money to buy all this stuff. Now you have your whales who are spending upwards of $1,500 a week on this game to really be truly paid to win players.
It's Farmville all over again, ladies and gentlemen.
But pretty.
So Zealeus and I were talking about this beforehand. So like we stated, that's just a hell of a lot of resource management, all that stuff. There is a mobile game. I cannot remember what it is off the top of my head, but basically you're basically creating. I think it's like an army of 4 different characters, and there's several different types of characters. Basically, you put them together, and then as you progress through the game, you get these like weapon shards that if you get enough, you can upgrade your weapon. But the catch is that not only do you have to get those weapon or those armor or item shards, but you also have to have a shit ton of gold for each milestone.
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, there's also energy in there.
Of course.
So basically, they're getting you at least on 3, probably 4 fronts because you probably want to get, you probably want to kind of boost your level on certain characters so that you don't get your ass handed to you in certain situations. And it's just like, why play? Because this is just nerve-wracking. I play for 2 days and I make just enough gold to upgrade a weapon that ain't gonna do shit for me because I need the following upgrade to make the weapon super.
And then one other thing about Fortnite too is it's a building, like Charles said, it's a zombie, but also base building game. So you're building your base,
Which
during
looks
the game.
really cool.
It looks cool. I mean, the gameplay looks really freaking cool. I'm not gonna lie. So you're building it. 2 problems from one of them, I'm sure will be fixed. One big problem is when you're looking at your schematics and what you can build, you can only do it in game. Like you can look at your schematics outside the game, but as far as really looking like, okay, what is this material actually that I need? That actual mechanic you can't do unless you're in the game itself. That they can fix in a patch. The other big problem is you can build your own base outside of the game, but that's like the super uber hard challenge that you have to have your friends play. Guess what kind of bonuses your friends get from joining you in these uber hard games?
Nothing?
Pretty much nothing. You get very small stuff. So
No
it's
incentive.
Yeah, it's like, so it's a game based around cooperative gameplay, but really the incentive for actually having cooperative gameplay in this game seems pretty much
Non-existent?
Non-existent. Because of the whole pay-to-win mechanic. The way it's played out, you don't want to use resources, and you only want to gain resources. Why are you going to help out your buddy? Is what it comes down to.
But you don't want to play by yourself, because then you would go through all your shit really, really quick, because then you have to co-op, but then you don't want to actually using your stuff. You want just your partner to use stuff, and then you get this weird-ass, very toxic vibe going between y'all, because you are literally like staring. It's a stare down and bitch fest at each other while the Husks kill everybody.
So this is like the classic case of a game where if they just came out like, dude, this game is $40, just buy the game, and you have all your resources, probably toned down a little bit for the resource management,
right?
And you just get it in game. Oh, dude, you can buy skins and look badass though. Like, this would be a game like, dude, this looks cool. I'm actually going to look into this game. It basically looks like, you know, Orcs Must Die plus there's another, like, cooperative game
Orcs
like
Must
that.
Die mixed with a little bit of Minecraft.
Yeah.
Mixed with, what's the other one?
There's a very specific game like Orcs Must Die that's a cooperative one for the whole, like, tower defense. I can't think of it. I've played it before. But it's like those games like all mixed together. It looks cool. Like the gameplay's fun. But it's the classic case of I don't want to pay to win. I just want to buy it for $40 and I'd probably buy it tomorrow, damn it. But I'm not going to.
Right. I mean, so in just kind of going back over, Zealeus and I are not against in-app purchases by any stretch of the imagination. It's, in my opinion, I have to feel like I have accomplished a shit ton in this game, and I can continue to accomplish stuff, but I'm at the point where I've invested enough that I want a little bit of a boost. I want, you know, maybe the chance to unlock a special item that will help my team, or maybe if it's a puzzle-solving game, maybe it gives me, you know, an extra stash of, like, I don't know, hammers to break tiles or something like that. I'm totally okay with that. But if you're literally from the get-go of, oh, you really want to play this game, you're going to have to start shelling out money constantly. I'm not for that.
And what do you think the chances are in this game that as you play more and more and get to harder and harder dungeons,
you're going to have to pay more and more and more?
Yes.
Sam Grizzle says, this game lost me at zombie, let alone microtransactions necessary to be successful. They're zombies, you know, okay, question. For the audience and for myself and Zealeus, what happens if a vampire bites a zombie?
It becomes a
a
light fire.
Because the zombie is technically undead. So is the vampire. The vampire changes one that is not dead to vampire.
I feel like this is an internal burn question. I'm not gonna lie.
I know.
It sounds like something
internal
like
burn. You still out there?
Yeah, that sounds like him.
Well, you get your thoughts together. We'll move on to the next one, and we'll come back.
Isn't that basically like a lichen, really?
Vampires need living blood. Question is moot.
But what if they get a blood from another source? I mean, they could still eat humans at the same time.
No. But the thing is, the question was, what would happen if a vampire bit a zombie? According to Sam Grizzle, the vampire needs living blood. The zombie not being living, their blood would not be compatible to the transformation process.
How do we know it's living blood, though? That's just an assumption that we make.
Well, as I stated, in almost every single vampire stereotype, when they turn something, an individual or an animal or something, that one is living. It has not died and come back in some form.
But in what case have we seen that this is why you raise a good question, though. It's because in what case have we seen the vampire try to act? You're assuming a negative without actually having any proof of it. You're assuming that you're right. We haven't seen the other case of when the vampire tries to eat an undead character, so we don't know if that's the case.
There's in some vampire, we're completely going off track, but anyway, in some vampire lore, there's certain beasts or creatures of the night that if the vampires were to drink their blood, they would kill themselves. Like, it's like basically toxic to the vampire.
That is in the Vampire Diaries, yes.
Vampires never kill first and drink second, which would be much easier. Hence, needs living blood.
It depends which genre you watch, too.
Oh my God. We're not talking about sparkles, okay? Anyways, all right, let's move on to the next topic.
There's something wrong with CW vampires, man.
Let's move on to the next topic. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not heard about this convention, I highly recommend you check it out today. Just Google Big Fandom Greenville. Big Fandom Greenville is this will be its second year
That's a
of
scary
existence.
thing, man.
That's Cthulhu.
I know, he's scary.
It'll be happening on the 17th to the 19th of November of this year, and of course, Greenville, South Carolina. I went to the inaugural Big Fan of Greenville and had a freaking blast. And of course, we will be going back because it was that awesome of a time. So seriously, if you have room in your calendar on for November 17th to the 19th, and you can get your ass to to Greenville, South Carolina, go to this convention. Gesundheit.
Thank you, Sal.
It was a lot of fun, and it's gonna be better this year. I could feel it in my bones.
You already know the way it's gonna be.
I feel it in my bones.
I like it.
So seriously, Google Big Fandom Greenville. Find out. Yes, am I one of the?
You're like a founding member of the Big Fan.
No, I'm like a special guest or something. So
Special
yes,
guest. Are you gonna sign people's shirts again?
I've never signed a shirt. I signed one can of Mountain Dew.
You sign my shirt?
No, I'm not going to sign your shirt. I don't have a Sharpie.
You have a blood? Do you have the blood of a vampire?
No. Damn it, no. So anyways, seriously, Google Big Fandom Greenville. You'll thank me.
I already thank you, sir.
Now here comes the curveball. Ladies and gentlemen, Ultra Confusion has been utilizing the same Ultra Confusion t-shirt since before 2009. If you look at that picture, that is a youthful me.
Who the hell is that?
That's me, dipshit.
No!
Yeah, in 2009. And
He's so handsome.
Oh my God, that shirt I still have today. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna try to put it together. I'm gonna put together an Ultra Confusion t-shirt fund. And what I ask of anyone and everyone is that if we can all throw a little bit of money in, we can get t-shirts for the original Ultra Confusion crew, plus t-shirts to any individual who wants the Ultra Confusion t-shirt. Now, if you're curious as to what it's all about, you see the Ultra Confusion logo on the left side, and then on the back it says Ultra Confusion, the place to alter your gaming confusion.
Yes.
And then for some reason, I thought it'd be cool as shit to put a barcode that literally is just Ultra Confusion and barcode.
I like it.
So
actually, I think you should have a QR code.
You know, funny you should. Sam Grizzle says I look like Eli Manning. Or,
Too good looking for Eli Manning.
No. And okay, story time, ladies and gentlemen, story time. So once upon a time, I went to a trade school called Full Sail. I got a Bachelor's of Science in Game Development. While I was there, I found my favorite watering hole called Pretzels.
Oh yes.
The local bar.
I've been there.
Now, the interesting thing was the vast majority of the people who frequent this bar, of course, are locals, and they're also huge football fans. So one night, an individual who was sitting at the bar said, "Man, I know this is going to sound crazy, but you look like Eli Manning." And I said, "Well, I'm not, but thank you for the compliment." And from that day forward, everyone in the bar called me Eli.
Nice.
And if I had been able to stay in Orlando, which would have I would have had to fail a couple more classes, which I didn't want to do. But if I was in Orlando for like 2 or 3 more months, the entire bar was in the process of pooling money to get me an Eli Manning jersey to wear at the bar when I showed up.
Nice.
So there you go.
I never knew that.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I want this shirt. I want new shirts. Mine have holes in them.
Yeah, mine too. And some of them don't fit right.
Yeah, most things in life don't.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go a little bit back to the esports and the balancing act that is trying to keep a team in the esports pro league. See, here's the crazy thing. You can have a very successful team. However, if you do not have enough money for sponsorship, or perhaps you're in the wrong area, you may find that you're going to have to cut your team for a specific avenue of esports. Smite, League of Legends, Dota 2, Overwatch, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, blah, whatever. It's very interesting because you have perhaps the making of something that would be absolutely stable, however, it's still way too in its infancy to figure that out, and that is the Overwatch Pro League, which has landlocked teams.
9 of them. Right.
New York, Boston, Florida, LA, San Francisco, Seoul, and Shanghai.
Is it only 7?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Actually, that's not right. There's a new one that's about to come in. I just don't know where they're from. I want to say Texas, though. I have a funny feeling.
Is it
it's
the
from
Ultra
Texas.
Confusion team?
No, God, no. I don't have $20 million laying around.
Damn it.
If I did, I wouldn't have had to shut down Ultra Confusion in that capacity. I would just hire a bunch of amazing individuals to.
You'd be broke from making an Overwatch team.
Fine, whatever. Anyway, so it's just very interesting that no matter the level of success, you could be at the top of your game one day and then not be able to play at all because your sponsor had to cut your team because it's not, feasible because either the purse is too small, you're not getting a big enough payout, or the travel, or the also the restrictions for the travel. If you're having to travel outside the U.S., there's just so many little bits and pieces in there that can basically dethrone or destroy even the best of teams.
We also look at how frequently these team composition changes.
Or just that
people are always flip-flopping
right.
teams.
Yeah. You're jumping from team to team. But the other thing is you could still have the same team, but your team name has changed because either your current sponsor cuts you, or you find out your current sponsor is seriously dicking you over and not giving you shit, and so you take a risk. You break out on your own and hope that a better sponsor picks you up, which I think happened with. Actually, I think NRG did that.
And that's kind of what the Smite Pro League and also League of Legends now are trying to do with their pro esports teams, is make it so kind of the sketchy weirdness isn't happening. So it's like, this is the team that's going to happen, and it's on the up and up, and you're going to have these players, and it's not this weird jumping around, and who knows what your team's going to be called next year.
Well, it's not even next year. There are seriously teams. So you got.
Well, look at the Smite.
You've got your spring split, you got your summer split, you got your autumn split, right? Or fall split.
Mm-hmm.
There could be one of the best teams in spring isn't around for autumn because they either ran out of money or there's some in-team fighting or something, and so now they're being displaced onto another team. So does that change the ranking for that team, or how does?
I also think the esports dynamic. I think when we think of teams in the way they're,
we're thinking about like basketball, baseball, football.
And you think about a game like, let's just take basketball.
Mm-hmm. 5 people on the court.
We could pretty much say LeBron James is the best player in the world. We could say Kevin Durant's
right
there. I mean, we could say, there's just a couple of players who are right there at the top of their game. I
don't think LeBron's the best anymore, but that's what's point.
Okay.
Anyways, so you have those.
But you have these players who are at the top.
mainstays.
Whereas, let's just take a game. I'm just going to take Overwatch because that's the game I know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have the best players. You could probably say Caffrey's the best player at Widowmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, that's fine, great, but that's only really viable on certain maps and certain team compositions against certain teams.
Mm-hmm.
Or, so, this one player is phenomenal, but that's only usable in 10% of games. So really,
where in basketball or football or baseball, it's if they're playing, they're going to be able to put this on the
Exactly.
field.
Tom Brady's in for every single snap. Because when is he not going to be used for the Patriots? You know that Matt Ryan's going to be in the field for every snap for the Falcons.
Keep going.
Okay. You know that Devontae Freeman.
Okay, let's jump out of football, okay?
But you know these players. You know that they're at the top of their positions.
Right. Well, yeah.
Whereas, yes, there's somewhat situations. There are situations, but in a lot of these esports, players are extremely situational.
Well, I think
in their picks of, gods or players or heroes, whatever that genre is, and I think that's where it can change. Is you have the meta, which is kind of what's the powerful team composition, and also the balance of characters. What's powerful this month. Whoever's you can't really nerf the quarterback in football. I mean, I guess you could deflate the football more. I don't know.
No, you have to
Inflate it more.
overinflate it.
You can inflate the football to, nerf the quarterback, whatever. But say, you have, the Widowmaker God, and then tomorrow, Blizzard goes and totally nerfs Widowmaker. And then all of a sudden, the Widowmaker God, is he useful to his esports team anymore?
Right. Well, I think the other thing is that, and I think that potentially the Overwatch Pro League could kind of make, jump this hurdle, is that if you have a landlocked team, you're probably going to have the same roster. So you're going to be able to get to know the players there. Also, there's a better chance that you're going to get name recognition for those players the longer they stay together.
Sure. Yeah.
Because, and Smite, because that's my bread and butter. I know of a couple of players. I can't tell you all the teams that they're on. I know Barracuda's with LG. LG, Luminosity Gaming. I know that Jeff Hinla, the Love, is on LG as well. I know that there's some other players out there like Amatoli and Captain Twiggy and all that stuff. I couldn't tell you anything. Like LeBron James, Cleveland Cavaliers.
Kevin Durant, that was a big freaking deal, and everybody knew that. He went to Golden State because of how big of a shot.
Or you can even go Ronaldo.
Real Madrid. Messi, Barcelona.
Anyway,
hell, even Sidney Crosby for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Sid the Kid. Or Ovechkin. The
Washington Capitals.
The dude who's always going to come in second. Or just fall out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Anyways, wow, we've gone like super sports. But anyways, the thing is...
But that's what we compare
Right, that's what you have to, because...
That's the current analogy we have.
Well, one of the big reasons why we're trying to do this comparison is the simple fact that when the Olympics go to Paris, Paris is already in the process of trying to put some form of esports in the Olympics. They have not. Now, of course, it's at a very, very early stages, so they haven't listed what the esport will be.
Yep.
But they want to have that type of thing included in the Olympics, because as you've noticed, or maybe you've heard, there are more and more colleges that are actually paying scholarships for League of Legends players or Heroes of the Storm players.
That was a topic I had.
What?
Okay. So, NCAA. Obviously, NCAA, you can't take payments for anything, right?
Yeah.
A lot of esports players, even in college,
Sponsorship money.
Sponsorship money. So, I wonder how, down the road, how is that intersection going to have? Because let's be honest, the best esports players, in order to be the best, you have to play against the best. There's no way around it. So in esports, if you're playing, if you want to play against the best, you're going to have to be on an esports team. Do you have to give up your sponsorship money? How does that work then at that point if you want to stay eligible?
So ironically enough, I kind of had an answer for you.
Okay.
There was an individual who was a football player. I say was because he chose not to be.
Is he the skier?
Huh?
The skier?
No.
Okay.
He was a football player, and he's also a YouTuber. And
yes. That's what made me think of it.
He makes money off of the ad revenue. Is esports sanctioned by the NCAA. They're in the process. So here's the deal.
It's going to happen.
So what's going to happen is
because yours is a good point.
So they have they had a special case, and this guy was basically he was monetizing all of his videos, but he's like, but I'm also on scholarship, so technically under NCAA sanction or NCAA rules, I'm receiving benefits. I'm getting paid, and so that would technically make him ineligible. So NCAA, for once, actually did not do a knee-jerk reaction or decide not to do anything at all. They researched the shit out of this and came up with a compromise. Basically, the gentleman could retain his scholarship to play football if, as a YouTuber, he could monetize any of his videos that did not have to do with him being
football player.
a scholar athlete.
Yeah.
Basically, he couldn't monetize anything about him being on the football team or how to be better playing football, or how the exact team he plays for, all that stuff. And he decided, screw you guys, I need the money more than I want the scholarship, which I think is, all right, whatever. But so my guess would be since there are universities and colleges out there that are starting to offer scholarships for League of Legends and Heroes of the Storm, is that when you sign, you have to sign like a letter of intent. And my guess is that during the time that you're at the university or college, you can only play competitively, not casually, competitively for the school. Where you could still play against the best, but it'd be casual matches and you couldn't make there would be no gain from that.
So what if you could play competitively while not accepting any of the benefits?
I don't know, because usually you're probably playing with a team, and if some team members are getting money and they're not
Then it's
underneath
considered.
then you potentially could have gained that money, or someone could have utilized that money to get you something. So then it's benefits.
I mean, this is very much compared to basketball and football. This is definitely, because that's the bread and butter of esports is competition for play. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this happens, down the road, with as it becomes more sanctioned. Because right now it's still very hodgepodge, and far as the scholarships and that goes.
Right.
But I would imagine at some point it will become the NCAA sanctioned sport of some sort. And how is that going to play out in terms of these tournaments? Because that's a lot of money.
Now, currently, under the wonderful way that NCAA screws over student athletes to the nth degree, what would probably happen is that you would have companies that would sponsor the esports league or whatever in the collegiate levels, and the school and NCAA would rack in all that sponsorship money, and the players would get
So
like,
basically like football.
Yeah, football and basketball.
Yeah, that's exactly that's how it probably will play out.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's the way the NCAA. We make so much money, but we can't give you any to the kids, because that would be an incentive to be here and blah 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 blah.
That'd be more of an incentive to be a player. Wait a second, that's not right.
No, was it? There was a team. I can't remember what sport it was in, but they got nailed by NCAA rule infractions because they were given, as an athlete, a full ride. You're given a certain amount of money for textbooks.
Oh yeah.
So what they were doing was they were buying their textbooks, and with the leftover money, they were getting like food for themselves, or like brand new shoes or something like that. Since that money is just going to go back to the university, if they're not going to use it, they're just going to lose it. And they're like, oh, no, you can't do that. That's just for books.
So, funny story. A coworker of mine, they played college sports. They were very good at their sport. And they were in some kind of electronic game, probably by EA. But because they didn't properly license it, it was one of those class action lawsuits against the publisher for not having the right to use this person's rights. And so the person got a check in the mail for $600 because
the likeness,
because they used their likeness in college without having the rights.
Which is why you're not seeing any college sports games anymore, because they don't want to pay you that shite. But the thing is, they can't sue until they've left the university, because if they would, then that would mean that they're making money off of a product, and that's a no-no.
Oh, good Lord.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Yes!
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, as you know, Ultimate Fusion has gone to ConNooga many times. And this coming year, ConNooga is going to be happening between the 23rd and 25th of February in Chattanooga. Now, as much as I would love to say that Ultimate Fusion is going to be there, we are not going to be there next year. And I want to put something on the table right here and right now.
Right now.
The reason why Ultimate Fusion is not going to be at ConNooga has nothing to do with my review of ConNooga or the public interactions that I had with an individual working at ConNooga. It's simply financial in nature. Altered Confusion just does not have enough money to afford to go up to ConNooga, get a hotel room, badges, and drink and all that stuff. So
PTSD for all the gamers.
yeah. Sam Grizzle says, I hate that logo. Mega Man was the hardest damn game ever. Still harbor a grudge. I loved Mega Man 3 because, you know, if you had the second controller and you held down the left button on the second controller, Mega Man was invincible. You would have to kill yourself. Sorry, you would have to basically die by jumping into a hole, and then you would basically come back. All the music would be muted, but you could beat that entire level. And then as soon as you go to the next level, you immediately, while holding down that left button, you immediately jump into the first hole you could find and jump out. The crazy thing was you weren't allowed to use your blaster. You had to utilize one of the weapons that you unlocked through boss fights, or you just had to use, oh my God, what's the name of the dog?
Fido?
No, it's not Fido. Anyways, you had to use that. So you had the dog warping in to be either the hoverboard or the spring thing, just so you could shoot bullets. Anyways.
Yes.
So we are not going to be at ConNooga. I apologize, but it's just not financially feasible.
But how am I going to get my hand knit TARDIS next year?
MomoCon?
Yes, MomoCon.
All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's an amazing thing called Extra Life. Extra Life is basically a charity organization that raises money for the Children's Miracle Network. We have partaken in 5 or 6, this will be our 6th year, I believe, or my 6th year of doing Extra Life. Extra Life is mainly a way for gamers to raise money for different hospital organizations. Altered Confusion, our hospital organization of choice, is the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, which I've spent a lot of time in. My kids have spent a lot of time in. My sisters have spent a lot of time in. So
I have not.
I feel like we've been there enough and seen how awesome they are, so let's give back to them. So basically what anyone who's part of Extra Life is asking is if you have any money that you would feel comfortable about donating towards a goal that's set by the individual. I think that Altered Confusion's goal, I think it's at 250. And basically, what we're trying, every single penny will go to the Children's Miracle Network and then go to CHOA. Now, for those of you looking for maybe, I don't know, some extra initiative, it is tax deductible, so you could put that on your tax forms if that makes you feel uber duper special, or just simply donating to the kids. To the kids.
The kids, man, it's for the kids. Everybody loves kids.
Now, of course, there is one extra awesome thing that happens with Extra Life, and that is every single year there's a 24-hour game-a-thon. I have participated in every single one since I started. I was not conscious through all of the 24 hours.
Does Charlie really need a reason to play video games?
No, I do not.
No.
But it's just an extra incentive.
It gives him a reason that he can play 24 hours and his wife can't get mad at him, though.
Indeed, indeed. Because I'm doing it for the kids.
Yeah, man.
For the kids.
I hear there's going to be one every month next year.
Dear God, no. But anyways, seriously, Extra Life is amazing. It's an amazing organization. It's an amazing opportunity. So if you can, please donate money towards Extra Life. If you want to do it for Altered Confusion, if you're watching this on Twitch, there is an Extra Life button down below. You click on that, it'll take you to the donation page. If you're watching this on YouTube, all you need to do is either go to extra-life.org and you put in Altered Confusion, it'll take you to our page, or you can go to our website, www.alteredconfusion.com, and there is a donate button on the left-hand side of the website.
Indeed.
Indeed. All right, moving on to the next one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the crazy thing that happened. As we earlier stated, how Hi-Rez basically has Smite, a MOBA. They have Paladins, the first-person shooter, and then they also have Hand of the Gods, Smite Tactics, which is a collectible card game.
Yay!
So, Valve...
And of course you have Blizzard, who has
Overwatch,
Heroes of the Storm, and...
Hearthstone.
Thank you, yes.
You're welcome. So Valve not wanting to be left out, of course, has Dota 2.
Yay!
And then technically you could go with Team Fortress 2
oh,
if
yeah.
you want to.
I mean, yeah, that's hard.
So there you go, Dota 2, Team Fortress 2, and now they have announced their own collectible card game, and that is called Artifact.
Ooh.
Artifact will be coming out in 2018, and its claim to fame is that it's not going to be like your normal card game.
No, not normal, man.
So basically, let's see here. I'm just going to make sure. Okay. The test version of the game has already been played, and the description that one of the gamers gave hinted at one-on-one digital card battling game like Hearthstone, only with a Dota-themed 3-lane system and other Dota-like tweaks.
3 lanes, man. That sounds 3 times as extreme.
So basically, you're like,
You have to win 3 times.
I guess.
It's 3 times the meta.
Or maybe it is like a MOBA where you got like your Titan or Giant or where the fuck's at the top and bottom of the map, and you gotta basically split
Kill
up
it
your
all.
troops
Yeah.
to go up one of the lanes, and
So like you have like a super card like for like your Titans with like 25 health.
Maybe,
or
I don't
maybe
know.
that's your health.
I don't know.
Is the Titan.
maybe
Interesting.
interesting. Anyways, let's see.
Maybe that'll be Half-Life 3. There's gonna be like 3 like lanes that you can go play the game.
Now, as the rumors continue to float around Half-Life 3, they're either that game ain't coming out anytime soon, and once VR gets to crazy awesomeness and is 1-to-1 sync ratio and everyone can get a VR headset, then Half-Life 3 will come out.
Yes. Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Sure, why not?
You don't seem convinced. I'm very sad.
No.
Don't break my heart,
No,
man.
it's one of those situations where I'm like, it's going to take true VR for Half-Life 3 to come out. Someone's going to hear that and go, oh, Half-Life 3 is going to come out for VR. Oh my God! Like, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should go put all your money into Valve stock waiting for Half-Life 3.
Actually, I put it all into HTC Vive. Since that's going to be the equipment that if Half-Life 3 were to ever surface, that's the equipment to be running on.
Sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next story. Ladies and gentlemen, there's this wonderful thing called PlayStation Vue, which is one of those streaming TV services.
Which I have and Charlie has.
Yes.
And I have Xfinity also, so this may affect me.
Okay, so here's the deal. Fun little fact. Xfinity, of course, will basically bleed you for every single nickel and dime that you have if you choose their cable service.
Sure.
And if Title II gets removed from the FCC, they will literally have your nuts in a diamond vice.
That sounds painful,
It
bro.
is very painful.
Please don't ever say that again.
You will never get your nuts back.
No.
Because if Title II gets removed and the FCC decides to remove Title II, that means that Xfinity or Comcast would be within their rights to basically throttle any type of traffic they don't want to deal with.
Inclusive
which,
of
of course,
PlayStation Vue.
PlayStation Vue, YouTube Red, Sling
YouTube
TV, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So right now, of course, that's still in place. So I have PlayStation Vue and I have Xfinity Internet.
Yes.
So Xfinity does not allow, unless you pay extra, you to have a static IP.
Yes, correct.
So, fun fact about PlayStation Vue is that it locks onto your IP, and so that they know that you're within the home network.
Okay.
So my IP changed, and then PlayStation Vue goes, "You're not on your home network anymore." And I'm like, "You son of a bitch!" So I went through all this stuff. And the only way that I was able to fix this, and this is absolute bullshit, is that I actually have a PlayStation 3.
Yes.
And so I had to log on to PlayStation 3, create a new user,
What?
and then log on to, because I created a brand new user for PlayStation Vue, because I didn't want to touch the PlayStation 3 one, because I've got bad memories of that.
Okay.
So when I went, because I've signed under my default for PlayStation 3, would allow me to sign in for PlayStation Vue because that's a different user. So I had to create a new user,
Gosh.
then download Vue onto the PlayStation 3, then log in, and they got stuck on an initiation screen. I'm like, fuck, did it work? And so I just said, fuck it. I just left the PlayStation 3 on for a bit, and when I came back, it was still sitting there. So I said, F it. I locked it down, went back on my phone, and now I'm within the home network.
And you wonder why people still pirate shit. I have PlayStation Vue also, but I've never actually encountered that, thankfully. Yes, that sounds like a terrible pain in the ass that I'm not looking forward to when it probably happens to me someday.
Yes.
Although I'm getting Google TV instead. No, YouTube TV, I think is what it's actually called.
Yeah. So, anyways, I just need to put my 2 cents out there.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, that's terrible.
And of course, Xfinity is just a wonderful, has a wonderful time just dicking over people's internet anyways.
Well, of course, they don't have any choice. Like, I can get Xfinity or I can use my cell phone. I can use my cell phone's hotspot.
Yes.
That'd be awesome, man.
No, but just a side note, there was Verizon, not wireless, Verizon the company.
Sure.
Wireless is just their cell phone thing. Verizon's actually basically a Comcast up in New England. New England. And they got caught red-handed throttling traffic going to Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Now, they, of course, they
We were
utilized their
testing.
fancy. We were trying to optimize.
Bandwidth optimization.
Exactly.
Oh, yes. We were optimizing the bits.
Right. We're trying to put them in a different order, and somehow Netflix didn't want to do it that way. So it's not our fault. It's Netflix for not accepting the way that we were doing shit.
Speaking of that, did you see that Disney's pulling all their material from
2019.
Netflix in 2019?
Because they're going to create their own Netflix.
So, ladies and gentlemen, watch all of the stuff from Disney on on Netflix before it goes away.
Which also means all the LucasArts stuff and all the Marvel Universe stuff.
Which means that eventually it'll be more to pay for all the damn digital subscriptions than it is just to get cable.
Not technically, because the thing with digital subscriptions is you're getting more and more a la carte. So you get to really pick what you want.
True, but if you get Netflix and then HBO Go and then you get
No. See, Disney is going
Disney.
to. Is that just going to be like a recorded streaming, or is there going to be live?
I imagine it'd just be recorded.
Okay.
It'd be like
I was just say if it's live, then they can also grab up ESPN because Disney owns ESPN.
That's actually a really good point. Which could be an interesting play because, so with ESPN, one of the reasons your cable bill is so damn high is because of ESPN. Mm-hmm. Everybody was basically paying $20 a month for ESPN whether or not they wanted it. Because you got ESPN and ESPN2. It wasn't just one of them. And that's why a cable bill is what it was, ESPN. So with everybody losing their, cutting the cable, myself and Charlie included, ESPN is hemorrhaging subscribers. And after having signed, it's the really big, I think it's NDA and SEC contract about 2 years ago, ESPN's losing money hand over fist right now because basically the number of subscribers is not lining up with what they're projecting to pay for these large subscriptions for football.
That's because the cable companies are upping their fees because ESPN knows that they've got the cable companies in a tight position.
And so it'll be interesting because ESPN just isn't making as much money now, and obviously Disney's not happy with that either.
No.
This could actually be an interesting opportunity for, because right now ESPN you can get through, PlayStation View and YouTube TV and Sling and all those. It'd be interesting to see if Disney might be like, well, ESPN, we might just pull from these others, and you have to subscribe through Disney in order to get the ESPNs.
That would not surprise me at all.
It's an interesting play. I could see that happening. Guess we'll see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any topics that you would like to discuss with us, please drop it in the chat room. Now, I know that we're getting close to the 9:15 mark, which is usually the time that Zealeus has to return to his owner.
I have people I need to feed.
No, masters to feed.
Yes, thank you.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this out here, right now. Ladies and gentlemen, if at any point, either starting right this instant up to 2 seconds before the Thursday Night Hangout next week starts, if you have any questions, topics, or anything that you'd like to discuss with us, hit us up through any of our social media means. You could drop us a line. If there is a specific topic you want to talk about, if you can get it back to us, if you can get it to us as soon as possible so we could be completely well-versed in it so that we can truly have an in-depth conversation, that would be awesome. Let's see, real quick, Extra Life, please donate the children, for the kids. Patreon, if you'd like to support Alter Confusion and help them upkeep all this equipment that we have, as well as allow us to go to conventions, that would be awesome as well. And of course, I will seriously try to figure out a way to get the T-shirt, Ultra Confusion T-shirt thing off the ground. And Sam Grizzle brought up cryptocurrency, which was a topic that was discussed last week, and the craziness that causes that is cryptocurrency, which of course is Bitcoin. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. Side note real quick, we might not be calling it the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout in the near future, but for right now, it's the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zia, it's been a pleasure giving you everything coming out of our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday to give you another amazing show.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.